other day I was talking about unfinished conversations, and I wasn't finished my conversation. So, what I was going to talk about next was the things that can form when you don't finish or keep um, diverting your attention away from talks that need to be had. So, a lot of things can stem negatively from that because you're already dealing with an abandonment issue. That's what that is. You're abandoning either accountability or the willingness to try and understand. So, in that, a whole bunch of trickle down effects can take place, and it opens the door wide for more negativity to fester. So, you can start dealing with resentment because you don't want to deal with the fact that somebody, canine cop. Anyway, you don't want to deal with the thought of somebody actually like having the audacity to avoid you off of something that you need resolution for. It could be envy from the other person that's avoiding, because some people actually get upset when you can articulate your words, explain the situation, and not play into their game. So envy and jealousy can form from that because even though the person's not willing to participate, they can see your inner growth. And when they grow away from you, that means that something else is taking place because of the way that they grow away from you. It's not that you did something to harm them, maybe physically, maybe emotionally, whatever the case may be. It's mentally you avoid them, and it immediately affects you emotionally. And then physically, when you're around that person, you literally can't stand being in their space anymore. That is a lot of different emotions happening at one time, all because of fear. Because we really only deal with two things down here: fear and love. That's it. That's it. Hate, jealousy, all those things are byproducts to fear and love. And for the longest time, they told us that the opposite of love is hate. It's not true. The opposite of love is fear, because love is a form of courage. So, you know. And this other thing that I said about other people getting upset is going to raise an argue point, but I'm going to use this as an example. When I said that people may get upset or envious about the fact that you can reach a point of articulation, this is how it happens in small doses. You could be thinking of something for a long time. Oh, God. Sometimes you're thinking of saying something, and you may not expound on your point or even mention how you feel, because you've already seen how when other people voice their opinion about something that you have a similar issue with, it gets pushed under the rug, or it gets minimized to a non-issue because of how the other person receives it. But the minute you hear somebody say what you were thinking, you're going to do two things: happily agree because you feel heard by somebody else, or you're going to get angry because they said something that you've been wanting to say but didn't build yourself up to the point of saying. Those type of things can cause envy and jealousy and resentment. All of them is cousins. It's a three-ring circus. And you may even experience somebody distancing themselves away from you, because from a bird's eye view, again, they see parts of you that are growing, and they can't. It was just easier to say that they're just not ready, because it's not a matter of can't, it's a matter of will. Once you peel off all of the whether they feel like it or not, it's really a matter of wills. Are you willing? He's willing to bark, clearly. So just like what I'm saying right now, this is just my opinion through my experiences. Everybody's not going to agree with me, and that's fine. That's why we have perspective. But it's never an issue where it has to be a huge fight. You got to remember, most people speak off of what makes sense to them if they haven't experienced it or what they have actually experienced. Most people's opinions are birthed from whatever their morale is, what their morals are based on. Let me say it like that. What their belief systems in here are. Because you got a belief system in here, and then you got a spiritual, religious belief system. You also have an emotional belief system. And they all sometimes aren't on the same accord. Is why when people do or say certain things, it can become such a shock, because it's like all of the different versions of them or things that you've been to them up until a certain point. Why would you do this? Don't even make sense. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 18. Like what? It don't make no sense. So these are just my Sunday morning thoughts.